I want to show you this crudely drawn map of the known world. This is a crudely drawn map of the known world. If you look closely, you can see Africa, and I'll turn it this way so you can see North America, South America. Now, this map is drawn in the style of what is called a Gleason map. And that means that the North Pole is right in the center, kind of like the hole in an album, a record album. The North Pole is right in the center. The South Pole, which is covered by Antarctica, they tell us anyway, wraps around the entire flat Earth. This is the model that most flat earthers will go for. They believe this is the way creation looks. The known world inside Antarctica. Antarctica acts as a basin to hold in the waters and lands of the world that we know about. Okay? Now, I'm here to tell you, folks, that Antarctica does not exist. It's simply not there. Okay? Now, when you take away Antarctica, what is there, I believe, is probably more land and water. Okay? I believe that this world, this earth, is much larger than they tell us. Much, much, much larger. And are you ready for this, people? I think it might even be infinite. I do think that the Almighty would have created the world to be infinite. And this is why they lie to us about the spherical earth. You people who believe, who are watching, if you still believe the earth is shaped like a pinball, and you heard the flat earth rumors, you may have asked yourself, well, why would they lie? Why would they lie about the shape of the earth? This is why. They are hiding all of creation from us, except for this little spot. Okay? Now, the important thing is that they have the population believing that the earth is as small as they tell us it is. And it's not, folks. It's so much larger. So much larger. Exponentially larger. And then some. You know? It's probably 1,000,000 times larger than they're telling us it is. Look, if you believe the earth is shaped like a pinball still, if you have the courage to do the research, you will conclude that the earth is in fact flat. Okay? And this is not concept. This is not ideas. This is not what ifs. I'm talking about physical reality, measurable, observable science, hard science. Hard science will lead an adult to realize that that they lied to us about the shape of the earth. But that's not the only lie. And if you are a flat earther, if you have come to the conclusion that the earth is flat through your research, and you still believe that it's surrounded by Antarctica, holding us all in, well, then you might as well believe the earth is shaped like a pinball, because that's what they want you to think. The evil establishment wants us all to think that the earth is as small as they tell us it is. Don't ask any more questions. Just accept it. And people who accept this model of the flat earth, I mean, they might as well believe the earth is shaped like a pinball, because either way, they're falling for the trick. And that's the trick. The trick is to make people think that the earth is as small as they tell us it is. And in either model, the pinball earth or the flat disk earth surrounded by Antarctica, in either one of those models, it's still finite. It's still small. Just like the song says, it's a small world after all. They program us since we're children to believe what they want us to believe. Okay? They teach children in preschool that the earth is shaped like a pinball. And I dated a girl who managed a nursery, a preschool. And she taught the kids that every year she taught them that the earth is shaped like a pinball. And she used to tell me that they had the funniest questions for her. I wish I could get in touch with her and ask her to tell me what sorts of questions and comments the children make. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But you hear a lot of people in this community saying, yeah, they teach you since grade school. They teach you since kindergarten. No, they teach you from before kindergarten. They teach kids in preschool that the earth is shaped like a pinball. I wouldn't know. I'm a preschool dropout, for real. Yeah, right on. Right on. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is a windy night here in the Duke City, Albuquerque, New Mexico. One of the coolest, most unique, exotic towns in the USA. Hope you guys are doing good. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe some people will join. Who knows? Let's see what happens. I felt like reaching out, communicating. Um, my big philosophy right now is that it's all in the mind. Like, it matters what thoughts are in our minds, obviously. And I'm not even really thinking about healthy thoughts versus antisocial thoughts as much as I'm just thinking about how so many people are lied to. They are walking around with false thoughts in their minds, just like we were before we found out about this great deception. That's what I call it, people. If you're new, I the name I use for it is the Great Deception, where we are lied to about everything. The evening news, yes, yes, the evening news, the major news stories are staged, people. They are staged. If you look at the evening network national news with critical eyes, with adult eyes, you will see this. You will see it, you know? And it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? This beast system that includes the evening national network news, it's being run by an evil entity, some kind of dark entity. This entity is cowardly. At the end of the day, this dark entity is cowardly. Cowardly. So you don't have to be afraid, people. You don't have to be scared or nervous, or you don't have to freak right out. Everything's cool. Everything is cool. Okay? And same as before you learned about the great deception. How do you attain salvation? I would say a good start is, I always say this, three things: be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to our creator. And I would say that would get you salvation. But nowadays I'm starting to think you might need one more thing. You might need some truth in your head. like maybe you need to have it straight. Maybe you need to learn about the great deception before you can attain salvation. Does that mean learning about the great deception equals salvation? No, it doesn't. We still have to do those three things that we had to do before we learned about the great deception. Be good to yourself, be good to others, be good to our creator. That's it. That's the trick. But here's the thing. The devil may have found some kind of loophole to prevent the human race from seeking a higher spiritual ground, maybe like in the afterlife, what they call the afterlife. Maybe one cannot attain a higher spiritual ground if they walk around all their lives with false thoughts in their minds. Now, remember, people, as I said before, the evil darkness, the evil establishment, they feed off the energy emitted from a bummed out human being. Okay? This darkness, they have this evil establishment, they have this system in place so that humans aren't free. We're not free thinkers, we're not free physically, and they have ways of scaring us and bringing us down with news stories mostly, but also with the life that they push on us, that they force us to live. It's happening, Ashley. This dark entity may have found a loophole in the spiritual world, a loophole that prevents humans from, to simplify it, going to heaven. If they can somehow keep people locked in some kind of state of some kind of purgatory here, maybe they found a way to keep people locked into that by forcing them to go through their lives thinking false thoughts. And as I've said before, this dark entity in charge will lie to us about all things and does lie to us about all things, big and small. Okay? These are big lies, people. These are basically all there is. I mean, here we are. We're just people on this earth. Just a raw human standing on this earth. The basic questions are, who am I? Where do I come from? What does my family ancestry look like? And where do I live? What is this place? Like, I see a river over there and a mountain up there, and what is this place? Does it come to an end? What is the physical world that I'm living on, the air that I'm breathing? What does it all look like? What's way up there? And what's deep under the ground? These are basic questions, people. These are basic questions that a raw human will ask. If you go living your whole life believing false ideas like evolution, Big Bang, spherical Earth, the um, the media, the news, does that mean that you're living life falsely? You're going through life with false thoughts in your mind, and maybe such a person. I hate to say this, but like, what if a person will have trouble attaining higher spiritual ground if they're not hip to what's around them. That's kind of a terrible thing to say, you know. I take it back. But what the fuck? Why is it so? I mean, it's so devastatingly important to the devil that the populations of this world believe the lies. It's so important. They want us thinking falsely. That might even be the end of fucking game. Some trick to weaken heaven and strengthen hell. Devil plays dirty, people. The devil plays dirty. What's happening?
That's honestly why I've been crying a lot, because I don't know how else to describe. Oh,
You're cool, Ashley.
likewise, Joe. Thank you. God bless everybody.